Welcome back to the Make Break Society. In this one, we will be assembling the cooling system designed by Stan Kosa for the PSPi CM5. Thermal testing will not be done in this video, so there will be a part 4 covering that soon. I'll leave links to all the parts I'll be using in the description. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. Now for the cooling system, I've pre-cut all the parts and we'll just be putting them all together and getting it into the PSPi. If you like this cooling solution but you'd like it for the CM4, Stan Kosa also has one of those. Links to the plans can be found in the description. The parts have been cut based on this diagram, and what we have left to do is glue it all together and assemble it. I did make a mistake when cutting out the heatsink, and it's backwards, but it shouldn't affect performance in any way. So the way this sits on the PSPi is kind of like this. I have to take out the screw posts before we can install it, and there's a little fan that sits here kind of like this. The thermal testing I'll be doing in a future video will be with and without that fan. Step 1 is to glue it all together using this diagram. I will be using thermal glue to glue it all together. We dab a few spots, and then I'll be filling the space in between that we don't put thermal glue on with thermal paste. The instructions don't call for this, but I figured it would give us better heat transfer. Alright, now that it's all glued and pasted, I'm going to put my elastics back on to hold it all in place while the glue sets. Okay, we're back and it's all dry and cleaned up for install. So now let's take out the screw posts. To do this, you have to disassemble most of the PSP. Now I want to keep this guard in place as it stops the pins of the CM5 carrier board from making contact with the LCD. So I'll just be placing a piece of Kapton tape on it to hopefully keep it there. Now, with the posts all out, we can put it all back together. Okay, so now let's do a test fit. And I definitely should have done this before I screwed it all back together, because it doesn't quite fit. There are two problems. The first, I'll have to loosen up the shell so I can slide it under a bit. And the second, that heatsink that I cut out wrong, yeah, that notch was supposed to line up with a pin from the old UMD drive. So I'm going to have to cut that pin off. If you cut your heatsink right, you won't have to do this. There we go. This is approximately how it's going to sit in the shell. Next, we will be taking more Kapton tape and taping parts of the board so we don't get any shorts. Here it is with all the taping done. I did a little bit more than is required just to be safe. Next, let's cut out our thermal pad. This will hold the heatsink in place and also helps protect the board a little bit. Now we can peel off the sticker and place it on the board and reassemble the PSP. Now we'll test fit the CM5 and make sure everything looks like it's lining up. And it does, so let's continue assembling. Now, we're going to do a test boot to make sure it all still works. And it doesn't, it's not showing backlight. So I'm going to fix that and cut back after I've got the backlight working properly. While I was fixing the backlight, I also installed the fan. You only need the black and red wires from the fan to install it. Red goes to the top left pin, and black to the bottom pin, third from the left. And there it is. You can see I've got the fan running here. Again, I won't be doing any of the testing, but look for that in a video soon. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and keep an eye out for the fourth and final part of this series. And until next time, remember, it doesn't matter if you make or break, as long as you're having fun.